they cut it down. The middle does around the little row. Can I get a row?
Widows, balls and ghouls, how are we all doing? The Conjuring house. Why was that place gone all crazy? Legitimately, the shit that's happening lately with the Conjuring house is nuts. Proper nuts. The current owner has been on an expletive-filled rant again. I'm not covering that. Enough people have covered that. Jason Halls did a live stream covering the way the staff were treated, and no matter what you think of certain people that work there, or previous owners, current owners, everybody that does a job has the right to get paid, and get paid the right amount, without threatening text messages, the threats to get sued, and all of that bullshit. And the threats to get sued, she needs to stop that crap. I mean, some of the debunkers it was alluded to we were getting sued. Nothing ever came of it. If you're a business owner, putting out an expletive-filled rant on your business page is a really bad idea. I have expletive-filled rants, but I don't say the word f***ing every time somebody gets on my f***ing last nerve just because I'm in a bad f***ing mood. Absolutely f***ing ridiculous. It's absolute. So where did this all stem from? Well, Jackie Nunez bought the Conjuring house 2 years ago, I think. Far longer ago than I thought she had. And she paid a lot of money for it. Probably a little bit too much money for it. Hence the stress. Lady, if you can't handle the stress, then get the f*** out of the kitchen. I will stop bleeping the fucks. So, Sam and Colby.
Colby Bra. You know, the nice hair.
And Sam, I made myself laugh. Sorry.
Sam and Colby do the Hell Week, and they ask for people's opinions on whether they think it's real or fake. And boy, do they wish they didn't, because the toe tapping turned the Conjuring house up on its head. The XPLR, the fan base of Sam and Colby, went fucking nuts. Like, proper nuts. The amount of death threats I received over my videos on there, wow. Bunch of 12-year-olds are going to kick the shit out of me with baseball bats. It was fun. My TikTok got taken down. I'd recently started a TikTok that I was going to upload short debunking clips. Sam and Colby fans found it and mass reported it into oblivion before I'd even uploaded. Wow. And I didn't want it anyway. TikTok, it was just something I was going to try. Well done. You took something from me that I didn't want in the first place. It was just an idea. But everyone seems to forget. Sam and Colby were like, yeah, see if you can debunk this. Of course the debunkers jumped on it. It was huge. This was massive in the paranormal. For all the wrong reasons. Because all it did was pull into question Sam and Colby's credibility, the house's credibility, the owner's credibility, and the credibility of the toe-tapping couple. Human Ouija board. But that's about as far as I'm going to go with this. The business is going to go under. I can see it happening, and I predict that it won't last until this week's Hell Week. Halloween. It's not Hell Week. Halloween ain't even that scary, idiots. I can't see the business surviving it, because whilst debunkers will get the blame, ooh, you nasty debunkers, you toxic debunkers, how dare you question, how dare you be skeptical, the Conjuring house has lost its allure to everyone, because most people can't afford to go there anymore. And that's what this video is about. I'm going to be looking at the Side Eye Guys video, but I'm only going to be looking at the cost, because Side Eye Guy's been there. Now, full disclosure, that visit I was supposed to have gone with Joe Vitale, with Weeping Willow, with the Side Eye Guy. We were all going to go, we were all going to meet up, but then the costs kept escalating, and I'm like, I can't afford to fly to America, get all the way up to that house, pay all of that extra money, because they just kept adding stuff to it, potentially get to the front door, and have that crazy bitch look at me and go, you ain't coming in, you're a naysayer. It wasn't a risk I was willing to take. Plus, I didn't have the money. We got so much stuff going on with the family. I couldn't warrant leaving my family behind to go out there. All caught up? Great. I watched the Side Eye Guys video last night, and whilst I was aware of a lot of the costs that they kept bolting on, I was completely unaware of just how bad it got. It's absolutely ridiculous. And things like, you go to the Conjuring house, you're in danger. From Bigfoot. I mean, come on. Now, go and watch the Side Eye Guys video, because it's very, very good. One of the things I've said is I would love to go there because of the history of the house, the history of the hauntings, the rumoured hauntings, etc., etc., etc. But we all remember that not even the story of those hauntings can be kept correct. Andrea Perron's story doesn't match up. Everybody else that's ever lived there can't recall it being haunted, except for Corey and his wife, and the Perrin family. And the parents' family story doesn't add up. The demon Bathsheba, who was not a demon, he was just a woman that fucking Ed and Lorraine Warren blamed for being a demonic attachment to the house so they could rinse that family and they could get more fame after the Amityville. And just a mess. And the biggest issue I have is I want to go to the Conjuring house. I really want to go there, but not under the current owner. And now I've seen this historian pull the place apart, but I'm glad I didn't go, because I could have paid all our money, and even if I did get in through the front door, the ghosts you're talking to ain't there. To the point where October, Abigail was the ghost. Abigail was the ghost of the Conjuring house. That's who the toe tappers were talking to. Now, Jacqueline has either conjured up a new spirit, or just made one up just because the toe tappers are not there. She can't be seen to support them because they're falling out over A. My issue with the Conjuring house now is A, it's probably not haunted, or nowhere near as haunted as people are saying. 2, nobody right now is speaking about the Conjuring house for its paranormal. When was the last time anyone said anything about the Conjuring house to do with the paranormal? That's right. Nobody. Nobody is talking about the Conjuring house being a paranormal hotspot. What they are talking about is the Conjuring house is now the drama house. It's drama central. Everybody's forgot about the ghosts. Everybody's forgot about the apparent haunting. Everyone forgot. Because of toe tapping and now some crazy bitch who doesn't know how to shut her mouth. Jacqueline, I don't know what's going on in your head, but if you're struggling that much with the debt that you took on, and now you can't fill the location because you're overcharging people, or people don't want to visit because of what was released in October last year, it's your fault. You did all that. You're the business owner. Take a step back, get a manager. Bring in a public relations manager. Because there are far too many locations out there right now who think that just because they own a location, they are some form of celebrity. Nobody gives a shit about building owners. They give a shit about the buildings. And you are killing that building, that business, by injecting your frankly shit personality and your frankly shit attitude into it. It doesn't need you. It doesn't need your attitude. It doesn't need your face. It sells itself. And you fucked it up. But the reason I want to look at the Side-Eye Guy video is he goes deep into the cost. And nobody can argue it. He was there. I don't use too much of the Side-Eye Guy's content in regards to the history, the historian he brings in, his recap of everything that's gone on. I mean, let's be fair, Side-Eye Guy mostly stayed away from all of it when the rest of us were reaping the rewards of that crazy shit. So go to the Side-Eye Guy, subscribe to him, watch his video on there because the historian part is epic. Epic. What I'm interested in is the costs, because I nearly went to this and I had some conversations with Joe Vitale and I'm like, I can't afford that, my friend. I'm not coming. And even then the cost kept going up, but I was unaware of how much they went up. What's this?
Do so on the Conjuring House website. Unsurprisingly, the Conjuring House isn't free, you know, far from it. And some of you may be surprised about just how expensive the Conjuring House has become while under the ownership of Jacqueline Nunez. At the time of booking for our group to go to the Conjuring House, I was screen sharing with Joe Vitale from Entity 7 Paranormal, so I read all of the same terms and conditions that he did. Joe made the down payment for our stay at the Conjuring House and his channel is under 15,000 subscribers.
I was unaware of this when I first looked at going. My channel is big enough for them to charge me more to go to their house. Nobody else does that. I have never heard of this anywhere else.
So that made it all a little bit cheaper. We also decided to make ourselves available for a Monday night investigation, which also made our stay a bit cheaper. But even with saving a bit of money here and a bit of money there, after taxes, this cost Joe around $1,500.
Now, people in the UK moan about the cost of 30 East Drive. 30 East Drive is less than half the cost of this place. This is insane.
For the night, because he also had to pay for an extra person who unfortunately had to cancel last minute. But still, $1,500. For context, the Bel Air house was just under $500, and that was also to stay for the whole night.
A grand cheaper. That's about the price of 30 East Drive. But don't forget, they had to pay extra for somebody else to go, and then they couldn't make it.
But there's more. After this booking, we must have missed in some very small print, because really, this should have been made far more obvious to us at the time of booking, that for this $1,500, that only permits one channel to film for the purpose of uploading to YouTube.
There can be only one.
But there were 3 channels in our group, including myself. After emailing the Conjuring House to clarify some of this confusion, they told us that on any given night, there was a maximum of only 2 channels that were allowed to film for the intention of uploading to YouTube. But this second channel had to pay another additional fee. And this additional fee was $850.
The fuck? Paid $1,500 to go to a house that may not even be haunted. They'll add on little bolt-ons for extra people. Then they'll charge you an extra $850 for a second channel. And if you haven't read the small print and 3 people turn up and all 3 have got YouTube channels, one of you ain't allowed to film, one of you ain't coming back with a video. Imagine I had gone all the way over there. Imagine I had gotten past her, got into the house, started filming, and then they're like, you can't use that because only 2 teams are allowed to put out videos per night. Why would they do that? Oh yeah, because if 3 or 4 people want to go and they've all got channels, they'll have to split up and buy it for separate nights at $1,500 a night. But if they got 2 channels, there's an extra $850 on top of it. Absolute insanity, but it gets worse.
So this brought the total price of our group to stay for one night at the Conjuring House at $2,350 US.
And now I have no money?
Bankrupt everyone while you're at it. No wonder. Jacqueline, if you were to drop this by a if you were to charge people $500, you could probably pack that place out 7 days a week, overnight, and earn a decent bit of coin. Charge extra teams an extra $150 if you want to be a money-hungry bitch, allegedly. What you've done is made this house only accessible to massive channels. The massive channels who will go in there, overblow every creak, mouse fart, and fucking dog bark and bird chirp as something demonic just to sell your house. But it gets worse.
Here are some Rhode Island Airbnbs that are cheaper for the price that we paid at the Conjuring House.
But they're not haunted unless Mindseed go there. What? Just saying.
And these Airbnbs can host a group as big as our group was. Since Entity 7 Paranormal and Weeping Willow Paranormal, please go to their channels to subscribe. They're great, by the way.
They are both great channels. Please do go and do that.
Our paranormal investigating channels, I thought it'd be best that they film content for their channels. Since I'm a debunker, I can react to their videos, of which I will get round to doing, so please subscribe to my channel if you want to see that.
I mean, you can do. Cartoon Head Boy is doing very well, but I would like it if you went over there, showed him some support, and even if you've already watched this video, and now you're watching mine, go back there, make sure you've hit the like button, because you never know, you may have forgotten to do it, and then leave the following comment. Hello, Cartoon Head Boy. I don't want you to say my name. I just want him to wake up one morning to see a load of comments saying Cartoon Head Boy, because he'll know it's me, he'll call me a prick, I'll call him a posh twat, and then we'll be working together in December, because we have a sense of humour and we can insult each other, because that's what friends do.
So this is why I said at the beginning of this video that I have no videos of our investigation on the Side Eye Guy channel, because I was not allowed to film for the purpose of uploading to my channel.
Does Jacqueline not realise how bad practice that is? Does she not realise how much she's just sold short free advertisement? Or advertisement that she has been paid for? With the greatest of respect, Weeping Willows and Joe Vitale have smaller channels. Side Eye Guy has a much larger channel. If you had allowed him to film for free, without any extra money thrown in, you would have had a much larger audience looking at your house, looking at the experience. But you want to fuck that up because you got greedy.
But just to be clear here, even if I wanted to pay a shit ton of money to film during our investigation, I was not allowed to. This is a 2-channel per night limit. And this is also why I had to film my solo Conjuring House basement livestream on Entity 7 Paranormal's channel. I do not know of any other haunted locations with a rule like this.
Neither do I, and I've been to quite a few.
You can go to Waverly Hills with a huge group, and as long as you pay the price to film for commercial purposes, as many channels can film on that night in that location as you want. So, before I even get to the Conjuring House, I'm not off to the best start with it. But then, there is even more red tape, which we did not realise at the time of making the actual booking. Before you are allowed to upload your video to YouTube, you must first provide that video to the Conjuring House team, and then they will tell you if it is approved to go on YouTube.
There is a waiver or a disclaimer to sign at 30 East Drive. There is also one at my haunted hotel. which pretty much gives them the right to your footage. I think it may even borderline say they may own the rights to your footage. But they've never ever enforced it. None of them. They've never asked to check the footage. Why would she want to have access to the footage? Why does it have to be vetted? Is it because the place isn't really haunted? Or is it because they don't want people saying Bathsheba and putting out a false narrative? Because, as we all know, the Bathsheba thing was a load of bollocks.
And since you are signing a contract giving them permission to do this, God knows what kind of legal troubles you could get into.
Right, let's have a quick scan of this, because I don't think he reads this one out. Right, if you break any of the rules, $1,000 per day of violations. Jesus. We must immediately remove the content from any social media, YouTube, or other media channels. We will be responsible for all attorney fees to enforce the agreement. You will send all videos, promos, and teasers to theconjuringhouse.com with approval 72 hours before posting. Or streaming. Right, no provoking, taunting, ridiculing, or verbal abuse of the spirits. No crossing over the spirits, attempting to remove objects. No casting spells on the house spirits or objects. No seances or channeling of spirits. What do you want people to do? Play snakes and ladders, or shoots and ladders if you're in the US? Anytime a group of people sits around and calls out to spirits, even with video cameras in their hands, it's kind of like a seance. So why is nobody else allowed to have a seance there? Why is nobody else allowed to try to channel the spirits? Is it because you charge extra for Cody and Satori? Sorry, they've left and you claimed you fired them. Do you have somebody new there now? Is that extra? Do people have to pay extra for that experience? Ridiculous. No inviting of attachments, no fabrication, falsification of evidence or history whatsoever. That's a bit fucking rich. Looking at what happened in October, looking at what happened to Bathsheba Sherman, and the fact that now, Abigail's not a ghost anymore, somebody else is. You have to see the attached historical narrative for reference. You are responsible for relaying the history as currently known. No drones, no taping down the wires, no taping things to walls, doorways, or windows. Fair enough, it's no property, you don't want to damage it. No pre-recorded live streams, and a live stream limit of 2 hours total. Jackie, if I was to fly all the way to the United States of America, if I was to pay nearly $2,500 to film there with my friends, with the want to upload content, you can't tell me I can only live stream for 2 hours. What the fuck do you think you are? Added to that, you're controlling the narrative, you're controlling how long you can live stream for, you're controlling what people can say and do. You're controlling. Are you a control freak? Now, for $2,500, and the fact that I would have to fly from the UK to the US, so the guy had to fly from Australia to the US to visit. Alright, he had other stuff on, but I was going there expressly for the Conjuring House and to work with Joe Vitale and the side-eye guy. If I had to pay $2,500, come to that house to film, I'm not expecting even more restrictions, Jackie. I'm expecting a reach around. I'm expecting something above and beyond. I want red carpet rolled out. I want to walk in through the door and glitter cannons and confetti to go off, smoke pouring out like I'm a WWE wrestler. Not for you to tell me you can only stream for 2 hours. Wait, you're not allowed in that room. Wait, you can't do this. Wait, you're not allowed to do that. This gets even worse because of even more restrictions.
So I suppose there is a chance that you could pay around $1,500 for your evening to film at the Conjuring House, and then if the Conjuring House say so, your video will never see the light of day on YouTube. Then
imagine paid for my flights from the UK. That's $1,000 minimum. I get to the USA, I've got to hire a car to get me from the airport to wherever's close by. I have to pay for a hotel because I'm only allowed to stay there for one night. Then I have to transfer from the hotel to the Conjuring House. I have to pay all of that money and then do everything in reverse. A trip to the Conjuring House is looking like it's going to cost me about $6 or $7,000. Why I couldn't go? All for the alleged psychopath of an owner to say, I don't like what you've done there. You've said this house isn't haunted. Or, you said this house is haunted, but it's not by the Arnolds. You're not allowed to release that content. And at this point, even if you do release the content, who the hell is going to watch it? Because the building is owned by an explosive, foul-mouthed lady, and because the entire haunting has been overshadowed by drama. And this drama isn't the debunkers for a change. This drama cannot be put on us. This drama is down to the owner. She allowed that shit show Sam and Colby thing to happen. She has overhyped the prices. She is the one having these huge rants online.
There might well be some other haunted locations that also do this same thing, but as far as I can tell, it's really not very common at all. And this is why it's taken me this long to get this video out on YouTube, because I wanted to wait first for Weeping Willow Paranormal and Entity 7 Paranormal to have their videos first approved by the Conjuring House.
Because you're a nice guy.
Because, you know, I'm a debunker and I might not necessarily say the nicest things about my time at the house. And just on the off chance that the Conjuring House might have been vindictive, I didn't want to give them any reasons to deny my friend's videos. But to be fair, I have no idea if the Conjuring House would even care about my silly little video.
I think she would, because she cared a little bit about the stuff I did. Cared a little bit about the stuff Mythos did. Cared a lot about the stuff Bad to the Bone did.
I just didn't want to take the risk. So, let's skip to the last thing we had to do before even setting foot inside the Conjuring House. Sign the waiver, which might sound like a boring standard kind of thing to
Thought you just signed a waiver.
do, but when you actually read this waiver, it's insane. So I'm not going to read the whole thing, but let's just focus on the important bits. It starts off with warnings of weak, uneven, and even broken floorboards, which is all pretty standard when you see the age of this house. But of course we get into stuff like violent spiritual attacks, attachments, and even objects.
The spirits can't attach you, don't worry about it, because Jackie doesn't allow attachments.
Spirits or other people falling on or striking you. Yeah, okay, whatever that means. But at number 25, we get the very real danger of wild animals. But of course, the Conjuring House even has to take this too far. And all wildlife known or unknown, including Bigfoot and extraterrestrials.
What's going on, man?
I mean, for the love of God. I have never heard anyone ever claim that Bigfoot is even in Rhode Island, let alone around the Conjuring House. And we're even talking about aliens now. Jacqueline Nunez and the Conjuring House team are just trying their absolute best to shoehorn in as much dumb paranormal bullshit into this waiver as they possibly can. And honestly, I felt embarrassed signing my name onto that waiver.
It blows my mind the hoops you've got to jump through to put money in this woman's pocket, give her paid advertising. Like, you're paying to advertise her house for her. It is insane. And what's worse is, if you're a big channel, you seem to be treated better by them. Okay, so I'm not going to include the historical bit that he does with a proper historian. Please go and check his video out. It's an eye-opener. Definitely an eye-opener. Very, very much worth your time if you haven't already watched it.
But he could not speak for all the other caretakers, which is fair. But it does make me wonder, if the other caretakers do say the Bathsheba Sherman thing is BS, then why are there still so many paranormal investigating YouTube teams who spin this well-known debunked narrative?
I am Bathsheba.
Fake.
Okay.
And Lorraine Warren said that this
Hey, look, it's Fall Out Boy.
house is haunted by a malevolent spirit, and they think that it was Bathsheba Sherman, who at the time was considered a witch.
Over 100 years ago, a woman named Bathsheba Sherman had once lived on
I know
this
that
land.
voice.
Rumor has it
Of course you boys fucked it up, right? Next.
Ryan told us that he would rather we did not wander around the grounds during the night, which was pretty disappointing since I kept hearing the grounds of the Conjuring House is as haunted as the house itself.
On top of everything else, you're not allowed outside. In the places that people say are haunted. And even that's brought into disrepute.
If not more haunted. And the reasons why he asked us not to wander around the grounds at night, the neighbours might complain about the noise.
Have you seen drone footage of that house? Because I have. There's nothing around there except the main road.
The grounds of the Conjuring House
There we
is
go.
pretty big. I couldn't even see the next house over.
Who's been naughty? Who's put a drone up? Jacqueline will have your balls as a necklace.
So, for $2,350, we were asked to not leave the house. Meanwhile, when a huge channel like Project Fear filmed at the Conjuring House, they were allowed to wander out and about filming all sorts of nonsense for hours on end with Cody and Satori. So yeah, this definitely left a bitter taste in my mouth. Ouija boards on the fireplace, a Ouija board pillow, and even a Ouija board blanket on
The reason he's bringing that up, you're not allowed to do Ouija boards in the house, despite the place being decorated in them. He gets into, why is there an Annabelle doll there? Well, it's because Ed and Lorraine Warren were very loosely based out of... Oh, what a mess. What an absolute mess. Now, I just wanted to get into the costs why I didn't go, why I couldn't go, why I will never go under this, in my opinion, lunatic's business. Can't do it. My soul won't let me go there. Now, whether this place is or isn't haunted is up for debate. It'll always be up for debate, as it is in any location. I go to 30 East Drive. I've been to 30 East Drive a number of times. I'm going again. I'll probably continue to go in the hope of catching something. That's not what this is about. This is about somebody's greed killing a business. This is about somebody's greed, frankly shocking attitude, destroying history. She has priced out the people that genuinely care about the paranormal to bring in the people that will stage bullshit and be like, yeah, this place is haunted for good advertising. But they ain't going to fill the place 365 days a year. Now, if you look at 30 East Drive, that place is packed a year in advance to book 30 East Drive because it is a fraction of the cost of the Conjuring house. And bear in mind, people moan about the cost of 30 East Drive because it's one of the more expensive ones in the UK for its size. It's a small house, as is the Conjuring house. And if you watch Side Eye Guy's video, it gets even worse because there's roughly 25 to 30% of the house you're not allowed to access. Why not? Because they've turned the big part that Corey & Co. used to allow most of the filming, most of the investigations, where Sam and Colby caught a ghost upstairs. They've turned it into a gift shop. Money before content, money before ghosts. Absolute joke. Absolute travesty. Now, a lot of people are saying things like, you know, we hope Jacqueline sorts herself out, and we hope Jacqueline can turn this around. We hope Jacqueline... Listen, I hope this place goes out of business for you. I hope you run at a complete loss, and somebody that actually gives a shit about the paranormal and a shit about the history of this building can buy it for a reasonable amount and take it back to what it should be. Is it or is it not haunted? Come and find out for yourself and have full access and release whatever you like. The only thing that she has done right is control the narrative for Bathsheba. You're not allowed to mention Bathsheba, but you'll get all of the information on the apparent hauntings and what's really there, really not there in the Side Eye Guy's video. So head on over to the Side Eye Guy, show some support, call him Cartoon Head Boy. Pretty please, I'm begging of you. Cartoon Head Boy, flood the comments. Not toxic, he will laugh his ass off, and then he'll get me back, and you can be involved in that too. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. While I may have come across really harsh to Jacqueline, I can't help it. She's horrible. She comes across horrible to anyone and everyone that doesn't obey her every command. Whilst the debunkers are constantly called narcissistic, bullies, toxic, foul-mouthed, horrible, all of these things, she is doing all of that and had the audacity to call us out as evil. To the homeowner, to the business owner, calm your tits. Find your neck in. Stop threatening to sue people, because if you come after any of the debunkers, we're all skint, and half of nothing is nothing. You idiot. I will have preloaded this with a written statement. Obviously, you'll have seen a warning at the beginning, but I would just like to say these are just my opinions, my thoughts. It is my opinion that this place is a con. It is my opinion that she is ripping people off. It is my opinion that she is treating people like crap. It is my opinion that she doesn't give a shit about the paranormal. And it is my opinion, and I'm allowed to have it without being sued, that this place is going to go under before October of 2024. I'm allowed an opinion. Absolute shambles. At one point, the name of this house was on everybody's lips because everybody wanted to investigate there. Everybody wanted to go there to see if they could capture something. Now, everybody can't wait to see what that alleged crazy person that owns it has done next. The paranormal has gone bye-bye in the Conjuring house, and it is now the drama house. It is a bonfire. It is a clusterfuck. It is an embarrassment. Can't we just get back to some teams going there and maybe nothing happens? Other teams go in there and shouting demon and running about and, ooh, I'm scared. Ooh, look at my REM pod going off. Oh my god, look at my REM bear going off. And then Kung Fu kicked the shit out of REM bear for not shutting up. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Much love to you all. Beardo out.